Welcome into Nastasia's in my kitchen here for Two Brothers Toffee. Today, I'm gonna help you take you through a gluten-free brownie recipe with the help and creation of some of our Two Brothers Toffee. It's gotta be simple for both her and I to follow, for quick, convenient. You can make it up at any time, either for like a dessert for any night of the week or for holidays. Plus, it's gotta not suck. It's gotta taste good. And so she posed a challenge to me, keeping it simple and it's gotta taste really well. So I went and started just to think of around some creative juices. How could I make that happen? So what did I come up with? And that's what I wanna show you all today. And I have a lot of the ingredients already pre-prepared out just to help walk you through the steps. Before I started filming, I do have the oven already set to 350 degrees. And all of any of the instructions we share with you today will be below in a click in an easy to follow recipe too as well. But let me take you through some of the steps, and I got the mixer here just to help kind of speed things up. So first and foremost, versus doing ingredient by ingredient by ingredient, I just went and found Bob Red Mill's gluten-free chocolate. I actually didn't find a brownie recipe. I know it's available, but I found a chocolate cake mix recipe. When I looked at the ingredients on the back, it exactly is the same as the Bob Mills brownie, maybe just a different instructions. So it's important that you follow the instructions I'm sharing with you if you happen to find the cake mix recipe versus the brownie mix recipe. The challenge though, when you do anything gluten-free, when it comes to brownies, is you're gonna probably have to somehow replicate that nice gooey fudgy if that's how you like your brownies. And that's what I'm gonna do today, even though I'm gonna use a chocolate cake mix. So what I already prepared and whipped up, but I pre-whip it before I actually put it in and fold it into the recipe, is 1 egg. I take 1 egg, I pre-whip it, and I added 2 tablespoons of pure extract vanilla extract. This way, I know I can get on that whole sweet and savory taste of a brownie. So I pre-made that up. I'm gonna put that into our mixing bowl here before I start and get that ready. Next one is where it really comes into reimagining and thinking of a brownie that's really tastes like a brownie versus just chocolate cake. So you have choices when making brownies. You can do butter or vegetable oil. Butter's most common if you want like a cakey, rich flavor. Vegetable oil does make it a little thicker and gooey, but we also choose to use the most clean and healthy ingredients. So I came up with, and I found, I hope I pronounce it right, Nutivia's Nature Vitality Coconut Oil. So it's like replacing the oil, so it's gooier, but it's butter flavored. So I came up and I'm gonna use 170 grams, same equivalent to like a stick and a half of butter, but instead of just putting it in at its natural state thickness, I pre-melted it in the microwave. So I'm gonna add that in there. This way, by doing an oil versus like a traditional butter, it should come up with a nice sticky gooey fudgy style brownie. Next is, you got a chocolate cake mix, you got your egg in there, you got a couple teaspoons of vanilla, you now have coconut oil if you choose, or you could use like a natural grass-fed butter, but then is come up with how you really gonna make it that deep, rich, dark chocolate taste. Well, I already took 100 grams of our Two Brothers Toffee 70% dark cacao and pre-melted that. Take it in the microwave just for a couple minutes on like a low power. It'll naturally melt its way down. Take a scraper here, and I'm gonna pour it already into the mix as well. When you're using a dark chocolate really brings out the taste of the sweet and savory of sugars or like the vanilla extract, but dark chocolate also can be overpowering. So I'm gonna add another little special ingredient in here just to make sure everything blends really well. Because any kind of pre-cake mix, pre-brownie mix, chocolate is usually a lighter chocolate, like a semi-sweet. So to bridge the two together and make it just taste, I'm gonna take 1 teaspoon, and any brand will do, espresso instant coffee mix. This will make sure that the combination of dark chocolate and more milk, semi-sweet chocolate will be undeniably something that people will keep asking you again and again. Wow, how did you get these brownies so rich in chocolate, but not too overpowering? Last is, I am gonna add a ½ teaspoon of salt. The reason why I'm adding salt to the brownie mix, it doesn't normally call for it, But when you do coconut oil or vegetable oil, it's missing the salt that would be naturally in the butter. So it's important to make sure you supplement it, and with the right amount of salt that I'll add to the top before you put it into the oven, you'll see that it'll also have like a sea salt taste with the chocolate. Last, but we'll save that for the second part, you gotta have a bag of your best favorite Two Brothers Toffee around. I'm gonna use, just because to reimagine it and go crazy, the white cranberry. It's gonna have some of that sweet and sour what the cranberry provides. It's a cashew. And to keep on the theme and the challenge of gluten-free, I do wanna make sure I'm very transparent. None of our toffee is certified gluten-free. It's not made in a gluten-free facility is why. To actually have a gluten-free product, it has to be in a certified gluten-free and be tested for it. None of the ingredients in white cran and in the majority of our Two Brothers Toffee has gluten in it, but because we make it in a facility that does have gluten in the facility, you can't certify it. But I feel really good on, hey, if this is gonna be the closest thing to it by adding additional candies, yes, I would use Two Brothers Toffee. But if you have any questions, feel free to email us. Let us know if you have questions around any of the toffee products, but also consult with any healthcare provider or dietitian as necessary on what you can and cannot have if you truly have an allergen to gluten. All right, give me just a few minutes. I'm gonna whip this up and combine it together, and then we're gonna fold it and put it into a special little tray. Stay tuned. So if you do use a KitchenAid mixer, it'll save you time. You can combine all the ingredients in and go. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer, a handheld mixer works well, and you don't even actually technically need a mixer at all, since you pre-melt the butter, the oil, and the chocolate. But I like just doing it for a consistency, and what you'll see when you start to make anything that's got more of a stickiness to it, it won't come out like any cake. I'm actually gonna show it for one of the cameras that we have, that you'll see it should have some thickness and gooiness, exactly to make more of a fudgy style brownie versus just a knockoff of a chocolate cake. So step number, let's call it 2, after you put all the ingredients and combine them together, is I'm gonna use cupcake pan versus a traditional 13x9 pan. This way, I don't know, in our household, I know Nastasia always asks for all the corners when we make brownies. So this way everyone gets a corner by just using and filling up only just a quarter way of each one of the cupcakes, or as much as your recipe will allow you to do. It'll cook all the way around 350 in the oven. And this way you'll have the nice crispy edges to every single one of the brownies. And it can help you, helps us anyways, a little bit of portion control, calorie control. So stay with me as I just put each one of the fill each one of them up. So what I have here, each one of the cupcakes trays are filled with anywhere from a half to almost all the way full, depends on how you want to spread it out. Now here's the final 2 little key ingredients that I'm gonna put on. Any of these final touches really are up to your taste, your taste buds, your family's wishes and desires. But for us, with anything that's got a dark chocolate base to it, we love additional little sea salt. Found some sea salt flakes, a lot of times that we actually use on our toffee. I'm gonna just put a little bit as a hand garnish. This will bring out the chocolate, it'll bring out the taste of the brownie. One thing you can add to your brownies that we are not adding to ours is nuts. So you can always fold into the brownie mix any additional pecans, almonds, walnuts, anything that you desire. Remember, the brownies are yours. It's yours to reimagine, and we're just the ones helping you, giving you some guidelines. Do a couple, a little bit more. And last is, I took 4 pieces of our white cranberry toffee. This one, for any of you at home, are like, hey, how great is the white cranberry? If you haven't tried it, it's Nastasia's probably favorite. It's hard to keep it in stock just from the taste tester herself eating most of it. But it is amazing because it's just got a unique, sweet, savory, and it's got that little bit of bitterness that you expect from like a dried cranberry. I broke up 4 of them. I use a hammer and a towel and a Ziploc bag to use it. You can use a blender, a food processor, anything you like. The reason why we use just a hammer, it's easier to control. You know, if a little, a lot, whatever, we like a little bit more crunch, but if you want to go super fine, like a coffee grinder, anything will work for you. This is where I'm gonna cover them all. Think of it just like making little cupcakes or cakes. because this is during the cooking process, and you'll see at the end when I bring it out of the oven, the white chocolate is gonna melt into the brownie. The nuts and the toffee is gonna melt back into like a really, really cool caramel state. And you're gonna have, again, I promise you, a treat, a holiday dessert, anytime, a gourmet recipe if you wanna call it, that your friends, yourself are gonna be amazed with, because you're just reimagining how to take a simple recipe, make it taste really good, and keep it as healthy as possible. A couple more. And we'll go. Okay. All right. Now into the oven, 350 degrees for 20 minutes. When the 20-minute timer goes off, you will want to check these either with a toothpick or with a knife, and just check them around more towards the edge. If it comes out nice and clean with barely any little like brownie batter on there, they're perfect. You cook them a little bit too longer, they will become cakey. If you don't cook them long enough, they'll be really ooey gooey and probably not be that fudgy taste that you like. So stay tuned, I'll see you back in 20 minutes. You should find that you do have a little bit of raise, like you would in a cupcake. You'll see the differences between just two of them is how much I actually filled it up. Shouldn't have a lot of overspill. But on top, what becomes really unique is the toffee. So this was, again, was the Two Brothers white cranberry is infused now into the brownie. Make sure that they're done. I'm gonna take this as a test sample, stick in the knife, comes out, should be almost to zero batter left on it. And I'm gonna let this sit here for another 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm gonna use the same knife. I'm gonna slowly just remove these and put them on a cooling rack to cool for, again. If you're like, hey, how fast could I eat these? Give yourself maybe 30 minutes to an hour to really, really cool down. Even if they cool down, you put them in the fridge, you can heat them up in the oven, put ice cream on top. The world's yours to explore when it comes to how creative you wanna be with your brownies. But I appreciate you spending some time with me today. All the recipe details will be linked into this video too as well. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can find us at twobrotherstoffee.com.ca, plus Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. My name is Dominic. I've been thoroughly enjoyed being with you today and reimagining a gluten-free brownie. And I'll even get Nastasia to post a video sometime soon as a follow-up to see what she thinks if I made a brownie that's gluten-free with our toffee that doesn't suck. Thanks for joining me. Talk soon. Bye.